Hey, I think we are about to be live everywhere. Hmm. Hi, gigpreneur. What's happening? What is going on? Welcome. Happy Friday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. I am Sean Zimi with SideGigSean.com, and I help folks create a side income using social media. After I did that for myself, I'm like, that's what I'm doing. I do it, and I help others do it too. So there you go. Some people just, advertise that they help others, but they really don't plug in themselves. So, as you're joining me live, it would be nice to know who's here, who's not here, where are you coming in from? Sumir, how are you? Namaste. I see you on Facebook. What is happening? Todd, Team Canton, Elaine, Gerald, Diane. Is that Dr. Oz? Diaz in her shoes. Moose lover. Some of you on TikTok, I got to be very careful saying hi to because your usernames are like a little crazy. So let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. So tonight I want to talk. I want to give you a story for you to kind of have in your back pockets, just in case you ever think about you want to give up. How's that? Right? If you ever want to, I love moose. Yeah, I think so. Moose lover. As you're joining me live, let me know where you are coming in from. It would be nice to know. I am in Southern California, and yeah, it's pretty cool out here. And yeah, if you're not following me, hit that follow. I'll be the first one to tell you how amazing I am and cool I am. So tonight I want to share with you a story to have in the back of your mind, well, really in the front of your mind, to just have ready to access if you ever want to give up, if you ever think about this journey, this road is so hard, I want to give up, I don't want to do this anymore, then I want you to kind of have, hey Cecile, thank you, I appreciate you, thank you. So I want to share this story with you. I actually, okay, if you're new to my lives, you're going to know this. Welcome. I am a big fan of stories. I love collecting stories. I love to tell stories. And I, I, I say this very often that stories are meant to be shared, not stored. I'm a big fan of stories, especially if they're true stories. Now, the one I'm about to share with you, not only it's a great story, but then it's a true story. And then on top of that, I remember this story. This was on the news. I remember this story. I actually was around for this story. Cecile. Here comes Cecile. I love it. I love it. So there was a gal that she lived on top of a tree for 2 years out here in Southern California, actually. So this she lived 200 feet above ground on this top of a tree in a forest. And the reason why she lived there is because there was this PA, yeah. Oh, you know this story? Yeah, it's a very cool story. PA, what is good? If you're not following me, hit that follow. Let's go. I'll follow back for show. No, no, no. It was out here. I'm pretty sure it was out here, and yeah, because it was a California company that was going to tear down these old old trees. It was like some of these trees were like a thousands of years old, right? Well, 1,000 years old. There were hundreds of years old. I know there was a couple of them that were over 1,000 years old. They had estimated, I think. But it was a California company that was going to chop off all these trees and make chairs, right? Well, I think she was 24, I want to say, at the time. Julia Hill decides that she's going to fight against this. So what she does, she goes and gets on top of this tree 200 feet off the air, off the ground, and she lives on top of this tree for 2 years. Well, here's what happens. Um, here's what happens. Hold on a sec. Yes, California. See, Mariana agrees. Yay! So what happens is that after some time, the company that was feeding her, like the food and supplies and stuff, they stopped on her. So they completely stopped financing her and feeding her. So, but she did not stop. She did not come down the tree. What happened was her friends and just random strangers that liked her cause, they would bring her food, supplies, and things of that sort. But in this 2 years, she overcame storms. Yes. Oh my goodness, you took it right out of me. I was going to say that. She weathered storms, tornadoes, all kinds of stuff, right? But after 738 days, yes, you Googled it, didn't you? You knew you know you Googled. After 738 days, she comes down, not because she quit, but because the company, yeah, I know, totally gave the plot, totally gave it. You're sitting there and kicking back. I totally can picture it, Cecile. I can totally picture it. But thank you for the loves, glow, glow. So after 738 days, she comes down, not because she decides, oh, it's chilly, it's cold, I quit, I'm over it. Yeah, I know. I'm over it. No, because the company that was going to chop down the trees and make these chairs, they went bankrupt. They went bankrupt within 2 years that she lived on top of this tree. And I remember this story. I mean, I didn't follow it for 2 years, but I remember when it was in the beginning that she got on the tree. I remember that. And I remember when it was such a big deal that she came off the tree. And I remember that too. But here's a gal, 24 years old, that decides, go ahead. Here's a gal, yeah, it's real powerful. Here's a gal that's 24 years old that decides to literally go against all odds, against a big corporation in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a forest, and decides to live on top of a tree for 2 years, 738 days, right? Where there's storms, tornadoes, animals, birds, all kinds of things, and does not give up because she's connected. She's so connected with her, what she stands for, what she stands for. So sometimes, oftentimes, most of the times, if not all the time, when you're really going for your purpose, you're sticking to your guns, and you believe something with like every fiber of your being. What about the co-author? Oh, you totally Googled this whole thing, didn't you? Oh, I love that. She's a motivational speaker and author and the co-founder of the Circle of Life Foundation. I love it. Thank you for the follow. I'll be sure to follow back after the live. For sure. Yeah, you do. While things are going on, you love research. So I love the fact that somebody sticks to their guns and no matter what, I mean, imagine the conditions. Like some of us have a purpose, some of us have things that we're going after, and we don't have to live on top of a forest, like on top of a tree in a forest. Like, we don't have to do that, do we? No. A lot of the things that we can do, they don't require us to go on top of a tree and hang out for a couple of years without coming down. Some people talk about this whole network marketing, MLM. I was having a great conversation with somebody today, and this entrepreneurship, this gig economy, all this stuff that is going on. And some people say, oh, it's like this gal live on top of a tree for 738 days and nights, never came down. Her foot did not touch the ground for 738 days. And here's the other thing. You ready for this? You ready for this? There was no Facebook then. There was no Instagram then. There's not a lot of stuff then. So she couldn't pass time by just scrolling through stuff. Right? It made it even more tough, more challenging. Imagine being up there in the air for like 2 days without anything. That'd be pretty. At night, the birds, the owls, the eagles, the this, the that, the animals, right? No books, nothing. Imagine sticking to your guns under those conditions. Yeah, we're really I mean, she connected with the nature, with the creator. But imagine sticking to your guns like that. Imagine sticking to your purpose like that. Imagine taking on a journey like that and not even sweat it. Like, not even say, oh, that's going to be really hard for me to go live on top of a tree 200 feet off the ground and not know when I'm going to come down. That's going to be kind of tough. Forget it. I'm not going to do it. One person made that company go bankrupt. One person, just one, nobody else with her. Imagine her running that idea by other people. Do you think everybody would say, oh, yeah, I think, you know what? That's such a good idea. I think, you know what? Let's all do that. I'm talking about Julia Hill. This is a gal who decided to go live on top of a tree 200 feet off the ground to stick to her guns for a cause, not to chop down really like hundreds of years old trees in this jungle to make chairs out of them. So she kind of stuck to that. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. I'll make sure I follow back. So imagine like if she ran that idea by other people. Like she said, hey, listen, I'm going to go live on top of a tree 200 feet off the ground. I don't know when I'm going to come down. I'm not going to have my foot like touch the ground like ever until these guys call it quits. Who's gonna come with me? Of course, bro. Of course. Who's gonna come with me? How many people do you think would follow her? Well, we already know that idea. Like none. Like zero people. They're gonna say, are you crazy? What are you thinking about? Or what are you not thinking? Right? But all those rejections, all those even people that called her nuts and crazy, insane. One of them myself at the time, it was 1997. I was going to university at that time. I remember it. So I was like, is this gal crazy or what? Right? Imagine you run that idea by other people and they're like, what, you're nuts? Right? Now, imagine you're in a network marketing company, MLM, ooh, and all this stuff, and you run that idea by somebody and they go, are you nuts? You're like, I'm not nuts as Julia Hill. I'm not as nuts as her. Greta Thunberg. I've heard of her. I don't know her, but I've heard of her. Yeah, I've heard of her. Right. So you having this idea, or you having this entrepreneurship mind, you getting involved in a gig economy, starting a side business, all this stuff. Some people are going to say, "What? Are you nuts?" You can turn around and say, "Hey, listen, I'm not nuts as Julia Hill," and they're going to go, "Who's Julia Hill?" Well, it just happens to be this gal that lived 738 days on top of a tree, 200 feet off the ground, just because she didn't want a company chop down trees to make chairs. We get so scared. We get so nervous, anxious of what other people are going to say or think if they only found out that you have a side business. Isn't that nuts? Oh, Greta, yes, of course. I know who that is. I know who that is. Of course, of course. I knew the name. Just then, yeah, I totally know who she is. I totally know who she is. Now I know who it is. Right? So we get all nervous and I get all sweaty and everything that we're going to ask somebody, hey, are you open to taking a look at our products or opportunity? What if they say, are you nuts? What are you doing? You can say, lower your voice. I don't want anyone to hear. The FBI may be after me. I had a conversation with somebody today. It was awesome. We were talking about MLM, and I turned around and I said, hey, listen, if you're really against MLM, you can do OLM, And he's all like, what's OLM? I go, it's one level marketing. You don't have to get paid off anybody. Don't. Hey, you refer somebody, don't get paid off it. Give it back. Give the money back. Say, you know what? I refuse to get paid because I helped this person. No. You just do OLM. You just do one level marketing. What else would you call it? If I care about somebody, bring them in, help them, and make an override off them, that's bad? Why would you say no to that? When people say, oh, I was talking to this person, I says, okay, so just do OLM. Just, don't make any money off anybody. Just every time you get that check, just like burn it or give it back or something. Say, no. I don't do that. I only do OLM. And this whole thing about network marketing, right? Marketing. Yeah. So it's a basically you network with people and friends and strangers, network, and then the marketing happens within that network. So, since some of you are so wise and so against network marketing, maybe you can message me or the big boys and the big gals with what you would call this profession, since it's based on, networking and marketing off the network. What would you call it? Would you call it plumbing? Maybe they should call it plumbing. Like these days, it's so dumb when people ask, "Oh, is it an MLM?" No, I just got a job at the post office. I'm really excited, and I want you to get a job at the post office. What do you want me to tell you? Oh, is it network marketing? No, you don't network. You just talk to the mirror and the wall. You don't network. Like you don't talk to a single soul. It's not networking and it's not marketing. So you don't get paid off anything. That's what I want to introduce you to. Are you open to taking a look at that? It's a great business. And it's OLM. So whatever you bring in or anything, you don't get paid off that. So you don't even have to worry about that. Like, how dumb are these questions when people ask? Oh, you know what? Some people would call me nuts. Um, this woman lived on top of a freaking tree, 200 feet off the air, off the ground, with zero people supporting her. Like, nobody supported her. Like, nobody. They're like, are you crazy? She took a whole company down, saved a whole forest. Some of those trees are over a few hundreds years old, right? So the next time you think about you want to give up, think about, hey, why did you even start? That may be a good place to kind of review, right? No, actually, after a while, she had environmentalists come and feed her. And in the beginning, it was a company that supported her. At first, she was all alone. She didn't have a company and support to go up there and say, I did this. She went up there and a company supported her cause. And then when that company went away, people supported her cause. So she went up there with zero support, zilch. She just took some supplies and went up there. She wasn't expecting to be up there for 2 years, right? So after she was there for a little bit, this company said, you know what? I'm going to feed into this. And then after a while, they're like, this gal is not giving up, and these guys are not giving up. I'm out of here, right? And then people and friends started to come and see. And that's what happened. So she went with absolutely zero support, none. And that's super, super nuts, right? That's like crazy. So the next time you want to think about throwing the towel, hey, oh, you know what? Nobody buys from me. Yeah, well, are you telling enough people? Like you told 3 people and they didn't buy from you? Who became a like? Who do you know that in the movies, in sports, in business, whatever, right? Who do you know that's successful, like super successful, right? Super successful in writing, in theater, in whatever, and an artist. Who do you know that they did it 2, 3 times and then they became successful? Like who do you know? Like name one person that said, you know what, I tried it 3 times and boom, I became a superstar. Just give me one example that you know of somebody who auditioned 3 times and got the major role of his life, who played 3 songs and became the major hit, who had 3 plays and became. There's nobody like that. So why on earth would you think that you would be that person? Kentucky Fried Chicken had to knock on 1,503 doors in a row before he got a yes. 1,500 doors. Sylvester Stallone did over 1,500 auditions before he got a 30-second role that he didn't talk or anything. He just got beat up. That was his first role in a movie for 30 seconds. Who do you know that tried 3 times and made it? And then you say, oh, I talked to 3 people. It's like, are you like somebody that we like have never seen before? Like nobody's done it like that, right? So don't fool yourself with that stuff. Okay, is it MLM? Yeah, but you can do it at one level if you really want to. Don't get paid off anybody. Just send them that check. Is it network marketing? Yeah, but you don't have to talk to anybody. Just talk to the wall, right? Yeah, it was. He took his. I'll give the whole story behind Kentucky Fried Chicken. I've done it before, but his story is so fascinating. He was on social security checks. That guy rolled with social security checks. He had one suit. That's the reason why he had that suit, because he had no more money to buy any other suit, and he would change in the car and gas stations. He would wash his face and stuff. Yeah, he was running a gas station. That's true. Yeah, yeah. And I'll give the story on one time. But yeah, so but it wasn't like he knocked on 3 doors and said, "Oh my God, this is the recipe of life. Come in." No, he sat in that car, door after door after door after door. He literally knocked on doors. So big stories. So you don't know anybody. There's nobody that, you just did like 3. I talked to 10 people. Oh, that's great. It's like you did 10 auditions as an actor and they said no to you. And you're like, well, I'm done. Like Seinfeld, if you know who Seinfeld is. Do you know Seinfeld well, I'm not going to get into that. I'll tell that story another day. But, but there's a lot more to that gas station story. So it's not like that. It's not like that at all. There's so much more to that gas station story. Actually, you may want to really look into that story. It's not just about they were happy with the gas station. It's so much more with that gas station story that he had. There's a lot more to that. There's a reason why he was on just social security checks after that gas station. There's a whole reason why. So there's a whole reason why he went to the red recipe. Why didn't he go get another gas station? Come on, Cecile. Cecile, come on. Don't get me started on Kentucky Fried Chicken. My KFC, right? So there's a lot more story behind that. Remember, I love stories, especially if they're true. So I look into them. But yeah, so I'll definitely give that story. I mean, but you don't know anybody who's even tried with 100 people. Like I auditions 100 times. They're like, Okay, and what do you want to do? Like it's like you go to the gym 100 days, you become like a bodybuilder. You know what they told Arnold? I'll end up with this. Some guy was asking Arnold for advice, and Arnold was like, "You do this, you do that, you do this, you do that, right?" And then the guys are like, "Oh, okay, yeah, but you know what? I just don't want to get too big." you know. And Arnold turns around and goes, "Don't worry, you won't, because you're not willing to do what I do." You know, there's some. I'm saying there's so much story behind that gas station with Kentucky Fried Chicken. The whole reason why he went on the road is that gas station, actually. What happened to that gas station? But now everybody's going to go and Google it. No, I won't be able to tell this story. No, I'm just kidding. I read his story. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 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 he did. He did. Yeah, 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 yeah. At the gas station. Yeah, but something happened to that gas station. They didn't have the gas station when he went on the road. Um, no, word didn't get around. No. If the word got around, he didn't have to knock on 1,500 doors, right? So word didn't get around. He got around. He got around. He got around like a madman. But I think TikTok only allows me half an hour. Does it or no? You came to that. Oh my goodness, Cecile. We're gonna have another talk about this. I know the Kentucky Fried Chicken pretty okay. Um, yeah. No, they never came to him. Not for the recipe. You have that story mixed up. I'm 100% sure. They did not come to him for the recipe. Yeah, they did not come to him for the recipe. This one guy, well, anyway. So hopefully, with with uh, with the story with Julia Hill, you got some motivation. It's gonna put some fuel into you. I like that story because it's such a real story, and I remember that story. Like I didn't follow it for 2 years, but I remember that story. Like I remember this whole. It was such a big deal. Like just imagine this is back in the 1997. Imagine like you get all this news, and then um, all of a sudden you're like, right? Yeah. Travelers did come for the chicken, but that's not where he got famous from. Nobody came for the recipe. Nobody believed in him. But there's a reason why he didn't only knock on 3 doors. If that was the case, if they came to him and they loved the fried chicken so much, why didn't have to knock on so many doors? You know? Yeah, he served the chicken there. Yeah, of course he did. It wasn't like a brand new idea. He was 100 years old when he came up with that thing. A little older, but yeah, that's true. But yeah, so hopefully Julia Hill helps you out a little bit. And with that, hopefully you guys get some love, some inspiration, some value from this. I appreciate you guys. Drop your thoughts, your comment. I wish I could, like on TikTok, I wish the video would just save by itself and the comments would stay, you know? But it doesn't work like that. Every other platform is like that except for TikTok. So I have to reload the live into the TikTok. That's fun. And I wish these comments would like stay. I really would love to have those comments, but I can't. So anyway, with that, I am Sean Azimi. Cecile, I did not want to talk 3 stories in one story. Yeah, you do that to me. Yeah. I am Sean Azimi with sidekickshawn.com, and I help folks create a side income using social media. Signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.